Coming live from Loveland, Colorado, USA is our guest tonight. Welcome to this very special edition of the KJ Masterclass Live, the show which ensures that you profit from your time spent here with experts, either through the industry insights, information, or simply learning from them. And today we have Matt Shoup, serial entrepreneur, author, keynote speaker, president of M&E Painting. Welcome to the show, Matt.
Hey, thanks, AJ. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here live with you and everybody in the world.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome to the show. Welcome to India. And it's a global show, global audience, but a lot of people in India would certainly, like to understand about the multi-million-dollar story, as well as, about leadership, about marketing, and important of all is the life, work-life balance. But first, Matt, congratulations. It's a big day for you. It's the launch of the second book of yours. So what exactly is this book about? Tell us about this.
The long story short is one of my companies is a residential house painting company. And gosh, about 10 years ago, we were painting a house for a wonderful family. And the paint sprayer that we used to spray paint on the house had exploded on a job site. We painted the customer's baby. The customer was standing there holding a 9-month-old baby. So that's a very bad day for us in business. That's not a good thing. You don't want that to happen. It was a big mistake. And we handled the situation. We addressed the situation. The baby was okay. But a couple years after that happened, I was in a sales appointment and I was trying to show and share my, best reviews and top shiny marketing brochure, my best of the best. And a customer challenged me. He called me out. He said, I don't want to hear all that. I want to hear about a time that something went bad, something went wrong, and a time that you screwed up and what you did about it. So I shared the story with him and shared how we handled that adversity and that challenge. And he said, that's the kind of guy I want to do business with. You're honest, you're being real, you're being vulnerable. And that experience led me down a journey of really digging into how do you really connect with people in business on a deeper level, instead of trying to put your best foot forward all the time. So that's the essence of Painted Baby. The book is about how to tell a great story, how to interject some of your worst moments, your not so perfect attributes or experiences, and actually connect with people on a better and a deeper level. And it helps obviously your business grow, but it's a leadership and a life message as well.
Right, Matt. Can you show that, that book for our audience, please? Wonderful. And so it's getting launched today. Where do people get this book from?
Yeah, it's on Amazon. So hardcover, paperback, and Kindle version is live on Amazon today.
Wonderful. That's now. We will talk about now a lot of lessons in this book, but the lessons learned, we will learn from you how exactly it happens. We will be learning about, about the story, how you built a multi-million-dollar company from $100 in 4 years. But, it's not an easy journey. You are now a founder of 6 successful companies. So let's go to, how it started. Firstly, in 2005, if we go to that 2005 March, it was not a happy time. You were laid off, and that was with a lot of debt you had. So it is so that people know exactly, it is not always about, happiness. It's also about tears along the way.
Yeah, that day was filled with a lot of emotions, a lot of adversity, a lot of challenge. I worked for 4 years in college. This was from 1999 until 2003 with a college painting company, and learned about the business. And I made a lot of money, but I spent more than what I made. So I graduated, married my college sweetheart, Emily. You met her before we went live.
Yeah, right.
And we're married. We bought a house, and we should not have bought a house. We had all kinds of debt. I had debt. She married into that debt. And I'm working at a bank as a mortgage broker, and I didn't like it at all. I actually hated it. I despised going to work every day. And I knew that I wanted to be some kind of entrepreneur. As a kid, I mowed lawns, cut grass, shoveled snow for the neighbors. So I had experience running small businesses, and I'm sitting in this bank just ready to leave. But I was going to plan it on my own terms. I come into the bank this Tuesday morning in March, and they had brought in a new president. So they had a new leader come into the office, and he called me into his office and he said, "Hey, go get all your stuff and put it in a box. You're fired." And kicked me out of the bank. So I'm literally standing in a parking lot with all of my business belongings in a box, close to $200,000 in debt. I'm married and have a wife to support. So I drove home. I had about a 10-minute drive home, and I called one of my painters from college painting, and I said, "Hey, I've got to go do something. I just got fired. Give me about 30 days and I'm going to line up some work." And I really didn't think, AJ, I didn't want to get back into the painting business. I did not think 20 years later I'd be on a podcast with you in India, live streaming, talking about this story. I needed to make X amount of dollars in X amount of days. So I came home, and my wife says, "Hey, why are you why are you home so early?" And I told her I got fired, and she said, "What are we going to do about it?" And I took literally the last $100 that I could spare, opened up a bank account, and then I went out, knocked on doors, and started generating business. So we went from March till the end of the year, and we did about 500,000 in top line revenue, US dollars, that first year. And then I sat back and I said, I think I'm going to stay in the painting business. It's been, very successful business, and let's grow this thing.
Right, right. Now, these are also almost not those same times, but different times, but a lot of stories where people are losing their jobs. So the
Yeah.
lessons, your whatever
Yeah.
you will tell about the journey, about the things that you learned, will also give some inspiration, some hope to a lot of people who may be wanting to not have the same problems and look at
Yeah.
life in a better manner, because there are many people who have lost their jobs and losing still, and we don't know how the economy will move forward. What I want
Yeah.
to understand from you, Matt, is that during times when going is good, as you said, you were left with just $100, and
Yeah.
you knew about things, but you were not so much interested in about painting, and then you have got 200,000 in personal debt.
Yeah.
The lesson I want to understand for the audience as well, a lot of people globally, is that what should one understand when the going is good and they are not prepared for things? What is it that you learned, that whether you should have had 200,000 of debt and looking at the future, so that people learn from that situation? See, it's
Yeah.
always not people learn from all the happy things, but from the tough times and how you overcome them. So what would you tell
Yeah.
from that situation? Then I will come to how actually you scaled up your business.
Yeah. No, thank you. I was faced with a lot of things. So there's a lot of emotions when things are going well. And I would say things were going average. I just wasn't happy with my job. I really hated my job. So I was not satisfied with what was happening. But when you get, the floor pulled out from under you, or you get, hit in the gut, as we say here, it's surprising. It was rejection. I felt very rejected. I was very angry. And I remember standing there with that box. And the first lesson is, when something like that happens, you have to make a decision at that point of what direction you're going to go in. I made a clear direction. Now, I was still upset, and I carried some anger, some resentment for a while, but I said, I am not going to let this moment define me as a failure, as a loser, as somebody who lost their job. I'm going to drive forward, set a goal, and accomplish that goal. And that's the first thing. You have to make that decision here in your mind. You have to state it out loud. And then you need to follow it up with massive action. I just saw a friend. He went through the same thing. He got rejected. And it was actually, he's a business owner who his business is not going the way he wants. And he was considering getting a job. He didn't get that job. And I said, what are you going to do about it? And he's sitting there complaining about it and kind of whining and moping and being really sorry for himself. I said, that's not going to get you anywhere. So you got to make that decision. You have to focus on the positive and let people know what you're going to do and then ask for their support. My wife was so supportive. There were a couple of people that were so supportive, and you can't let that moment define you.
Right, right.
That was the worst day of my life, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me in the same moment. And it just depends on how you look at it.
Absolutely. It all depends
Yeah.
on how you look at it. Now, you made that call to one of your painters, and then things moved forward.
Yeah.
In terms of people who want to start their business, who want to, make a multi-million-dollar business out of whatever they do, you had an idea because you were doing this painting stuff while you were in college and all that stuff.
Mhm.
You knew about it. What
I did.
about people when they think of a business idea? What should they
Yeah.
look at? Should they look at the business idea, or should they look at the multi-million-dollar possibility when they are thinking of a
Yeah.
idea? Because nowadays almost everybody wants to grow rich quicker, and
Yeah.
building a business takes time. What would you tell them, whoever is thinking of building a business at this point in
Yeah.
time, thinking in to get into this?
Yeah, really, really great questions. You asked a couple of really good questions. I was very motivated because of my growing up and my childhood. I had to learn how to make money at a very early age. I asked my parents for some money when I was 9, 10, and they said, "We're not going to give it to you. Figure out a way to make it." Because I wanted a CD player, I wanted a boom box to play music, and I did chase the money at the beginning. I was really focused on let's build the $1 million business. I want to become a millionaire. And I thought that was very important. I thought it mattered a lot more than it does. I actually do not like painting. I'm not good at painting. I still, to this day, I don't like painting. Nobody lets me do it. I love business and I love people. And what I was really inspired and motivated about was I'm not going to rely on somebody else to provide for my future. I'm going to rely on myself. So, what I would encourage your listeners to think about answering those questions is why are you doing what you're doing? I was very motivated by the need to support my family, the desire to support my family. We knew children would be coming along soon, and I was very motivated by that. So to me, the business doesn't matter. I own different companies in all different kinds of business, painting, roofing. I teach Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. I do real estate. We sell a drywall tool on Amazon. So all different kinds of business. And it's all about the people. For me, I love the process. I love the challenge. But I was very clear on why I was doing what I was doing. And that helped guide me and direct me.
Okay, okay. And then, because you did not like your banking job, you did,
No.
and you were not so interested in this job. So, for a lot of people, what is it? People say follow your heart. Why did you follow this particular line of business and you
Yeah.
built it, and you're still in that? You are the president of that company today,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
doing fairly good. So, what is
Uh-huh.
it that helped it grow? That what is it
Yeah.
that helped you or made you still be there into this business? Was it good? How did you detach yourself from that feeling of not liking it so much? And when
Yeah.
you have dollars, when you have money enough, still you did not leave it. What is it that people should understand about business, when they should follow their heart, not jump into something, something new, but something, look at things pragmatically
Yeah.
when something is going good? What would you
Yeah.
like to tell of that part?
Yeah. Yeah, great questions. My team members joke with me because I'm not a good painter. I'm not passionate about painting. I'm passionate about people and business and helping make people's lives better. So that's my focus, and that's what motivates me. That's what inspires me. I'll share a quick story. I have a friend. He was a police officer, and he wanted to get out of the business, and he was very interested in marketing and sales, and I love that too. So we had coffee one day, and he said, "I want to start a business." And I said, "What do you like to do?" He goes, "I don't know. I just want to do business. I don't care if I go pick up people's trash." And then he kind of had a light bulb and he started a junk hauling business. He'll come to your home, pick up your trash, take it to the dump so you don't have to. He found a need. He found a niche. He found an area that was being underserved by other companies, and he was excited for the challenge of business. I asked him the other day, he now has 3 trucks, almost $1 million business. We'll have to get him on the show. He doesn't like
Yes,
picking up,
indeed. Yes.
he does not like picking up trash. He doesn't identify as the trash man. He is a businessman. Same with me. So I think there is, I want to be careful how I say this. You have to be careful if you're really good at a skill or a trade or a craft. So say that I'm so good at painting, right? I'm amazing at painting, and I was a painter. Now I want to start a company. It's going to be really difficult for me to grow that business because I love the painting so much that I'm not going to have time to do the business. That's the, the expression of, the technician transferring over to the business owner. Michael Gerber's book, E-Myth, he talks about the cake baker who now wants to start a bakery. Well, you need to stop baking cakes. You need to start building a business. And that's what's really important. And that's what I focus on every day. Because if not, you get trapped into and become a slave of your business.
Right, right. So you started looking at, moved away from your personal liking or not liking too much and moved towards leadership. Liking, you are a people's man. And then you
Yeah.
looked at things as a business person and looked at
Yeah.
purely in form of a business. Good. So it means you found what exactly you were good at and you worked towards building that business. But then how did you work it? Later you say that along the way, I realized how poor I was at leadership. When did you realize this? And how did you, because leadership is a big issue today. It was your
Yeah.
own company. You knew that you had to grow it. So you kept people in the best manner possible at that point in time, or whatever lessons you learned. But in today's time, you have the great resignation, quiet
Yeah.
quitting, toxicity at workplaces, leadership, challenge of leadership in 2023. So amidst all these things, what is it that you talk about, the lessons learned? What would you tell to the present leaders, how, because you are the founder of 6 companies, not one company,
Yeah.
and they are all successful companies. So your words of wisdom will certainly be some learning to a lot of people.
Thank you. I think back to 2005, and if I was operating and leading, or I would say lack of leading my company, how I was then, now, during the Great Resignation, I would have no more businesses. I just shared the example of the cake baker, right? Or the painter, really good at painting. Now I need to transition to be really good at business. So I was so good at business. I was so great at marketing and sales. Nobody could do it better than me. I'm going to do this because I'm great. You see, the focus is me and how excellent I am. I was doing a very poor job just because I'm great. Okay, I can sell $1 million, but can I teach somebody else to sell $1 million so I can step out? Leadership is all about transferring the skills, say, that I have to somebody else, to teaching, to building somebody up, to making their lives better, to give them opportunities, an environment, a culture where they can thrive. And I wasn't focusing on that. So I found out I was really bad with people because I'm selling and I'm growing my business. I'm bringing people on board, giving them a job, but then I'm micromanaging them. And then I'm not praising them. I can do it better than you. And they're leaving. Everybody's leaving. Nobody's staying. And a friend of mine, he just said one day, flat out, he said, Matt, you're really good at business and he used profanity, but he said, you're really bad at leadership and leading people. Did you ever notice that? And he said, don't get mad at me. You'll thank me later. And I do. I thank him a lot. He said, nobody's staying with you. You're really scary. You're really aggressive. You're not praising people and you're not making them better. You made $1 million. I climbed a mountain and I'm standing up all by myself with nobody with me. So I came back down and then really started focusing on how do you make people's lives better? And that really is one of the only reasons that the business is successful. Like, I know I'm going to work hard, but I need to work hard at the people and making them as amazing and excellent as possible.
Right, Matt. these are great words of wisdom. But what I understand is that you talk of leadership lessons from the Brazilian Jiu Jitsu mats. Our
Yes.
leadership books, our management books don't teach this. You have to learn from that. Why is it this
Yeah.
dichotomy there? How do you like
Yeah.
to put it?
Yeah. So I love leadership books. And as when I was told, hey, Matt, you're bad at leadership, I started reading, John Maxwell and Seven Habits, all of these leadership books, and great concepts in there, right? They're all very timeless concepts. And I have a personal passion. I trained Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. And the first time I stepped into a class, I was big, I was strong, I was aggressive, and they matched me up with an opponent who was half my age, half my size, and he beat the crap out of me. The goal with jiu-jitsu is how does a smaller opponent defeat a larger opponent with timing, technique, leverage, and just skill and patience. So as I've trained Brazilian jiu-jitsu and I talk about the lessons I've learned. So lesson one, for example, is that every journey, it begins with your first step, your first class, your first session. When I learned that I didn't know anything about leadership, I had to step into that first class. And the first time I tried to lead somebody, it did not go well. I got kind of beat up, just like I did in the first jiu-jitsu class. So I've spent 20 years in martial arts. This is my 16th year in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm a black belt. I'm a professor. One of our businesses is an academy that I co-own with Troy Pettyjohn, my business partner. And all of these lessons are coinciding with leadership. So another lesson is, stepping into that space. So stepping out of, say, employment into business or business into leadership, it's scary. There's unknowns. You don't know what you're going to be up against. You feel like you're swimming upstream or trying not to drown, right? But you have to jump in the pool. You have to jump in the water. So yeah, I have a little video series on my social media where I just share these lessons about fighting and getting beat up and tapping out and what it
Right.
taught me about business and life and leadership. Yeah.
Right. And before I forget, do tell us about where exactly on your social media. What are those handles?
So I'm on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Twitter, as well as YouTube. So I'm on those 6 platforms. We can link them up here. But I do a morning video. It's called Morning Coffee with Matt. You probably noticed I've had about 4 of these so far today. I love Spanish coffee. I lived in
Right.
Spain, fell in love with their coffee. So every morning I do a 1-minute or less video of a life, business, leadership tip. And then also on those social media platforms, I have another video series. It's called Matt on the Mats. So those are leadership lessons and life and business lessons from the jiu-jitsu mats. So
Right. Right. I'll
yep.
also add those handles in the YouTube
Yeah,
description so that people are able to reach to you, get those lessons from you. Because now you believe people matter more than profits. I guess
yeah.
now so much of
People,
leadership is
yeah,
talking is more focused on bottom lines, and and you can see it's all in the layoffs that's happening. So
yeah,
what would you say about this change, about realization that you are a good man? You have realized it. Not
yeah,
many people realize it, and they
yeah.
just never
Thank you.
accept there is something that need to be learned. Once you are
Yeah,
a CEO or any other CXO, you are the
yeah.
know all, you are omnipotent.
Yeah, that's a dangerous place to be. And I think we give ourselves that name, that title, that position, we have that power, and we think, oh, I know everything. And that's what I was. And you've got to be really careful. You cannot be the smartest, most all-knowing person in the room, or your business is not going to fail. It's not going to succeed. You're not going to keep people around. And yeah, I learned that pretty quickly. But you mentioned something, and I love this is one of our mottos is people over profit. If you focus on the profit, the people will run. If you focus on the people, the profit will come. And profit, I'm not being head in the clouds naive here, so don't get me wrong. You need to focus on profit. Your business needs to make money. There is a bottom line, bottom right corner, net profit. If you don't have net profit, you don't have cash flow, You don't have money coming in, your business is not going to survive. But if all you do is focus on that number, and then you're not focusing on, I'll talk about another number, another bottom line, that's the people bottom line. Your business is not going to scale. You know, you might grow, make some money, but you're not going to scale. You're not going to lead. You'll never be able to step away. So another bottom line that I look at, and it's not tangible, it's not measurable. A lot of it is looking at the stories of the people that have come to work for me and with me, and not even for me, but with me on the team, right? Where did they start? Where did they end up? How have they gotten better in between? And maybe you can measure it. So I have a team member, he lost 100 pounds. Anybody that works on our team, they get to train Brazilian Jiu Jitsu for free. So he came in, he was making, you know, X dollars per hour. Now he's making a lot more. He lost 100 pounds. He bought a house. He's focusing on his development. He's changing the language and the words that he uses. We talk about this, and you can measure that. So what is the net profit? What is the net return and improvement to the life of the people that you work with? And you need to look at that just as much. And I think companies in 2023, in this kind of economic shift, people aren't coming to work for you for the money. They're definitely not coming. They're definitely not staying for that. They need other things where they know you care about them and can help them improve their life. And man, I could go on and on. I feel like I'm going on and on about this because I'm very passionate about it, but just focus on the people. Don't forget about the profit, but profit's not the only thing.
Right. Profit is not the only thing. But then you see, you had one company, and along the way, you founded 5 more companies.
Yes.
What is it? You could have, you were making a lot of money during that process. You could have, been taken it all easy because you had seen tough times. But you went on and founded 5 more companies. How did that process happen? Did you do it? Did those things happen just by themselves, or you did it intentionally?
Yeah. Little bit of both. So chronologically, the first company is M&D Painting. Started that in 2005. And in 2010, a good friend of mine from high school, his name is Dave Sword, he and I got in the painting business together. We got fired from a job site for messing up and screwing up some drywall texture on a wall. And we were trying to use the spray cans. So we're eating burritos in Loveland, Colorado, talking about, hey, if we could design, I actually have it right here. If we could design, we drew this on a napkin, if we could design something like this, it will fix your drywall texture. And I said, cool, let's design it. So we went out, got a patent, designed it. And now we sell a bunch of these on Amazon. So like, we weren't having burritos that day with this grand business idea. We were pretty upset because we lost business, found a problem, found a better solution, started the business. So there wasn't a big plan with that. I started a real estate company because I love real estate, love investing, love helping people with real estate. And that's how that came about. And yeah, all of the businesses were kind of a combination of a passion for either the problem and the solution to it, or something I really love. And it's cool because it's an ability to bring and build up a bigger team of people that I can support.
Right. So how do you manage 6 companies, family, and still able to enjoy the life that you have?
Yeah. So again, I never could have done this in 2005 with my poor leadership style and putting everything on me. So like right now, I'm doing a live streaming podcast with you. I know that I have a team of amazing people that are out there doing what they're supposed to be doing. I gave them that position, that role, that trust, that leeway to do that. And if they need to make a big decision right now, like a big decision, they're making it, and I trust them. Whether it's the right one or not, I trust, and I gave them power. I could never do that. My team is only as good. Here's another jiu-jitsu lesson, right? If you're a leadership lesson, my jiu-jitsu academy students, they'll only be as great as my ability to coach and lead them. So they're only as good as I've made myself better. So I really focus on my personal development, my faith, my family, and my own health, I'm very selfish so that I can pour into other people. Because you can't, if this glass is empty, I can't invest in anybody. So I'm very intentional with my time. I'm a control freak, AJ, by nature. So I need to be very mindful that when I come in and start trying to do somebody's job, I need to back off, let them do their job. My book launch party on Friday, I have a team planning that. I trust what they're doing. It's going to be amazing. The other day I said, did you do the centerpiece? Can I see that? And Francis is like, nope, just I got the centerpiece. Leave it alone. So that's what I do. Very intentional with my time and my schedule. And there's so many things more important than business. And if those things come up, I'm always able to jump on that because I have a team of great people.
Right. You have a great team of great people. Wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
My last question to you then,
Mm-hmm.
Matt, is that after 6 companies and the success that you have achieved, when you look at 2005, you look at today,
Yeah.
what is it that you look for in the future for you, your family? What is it that you seek now?
Yeah, my goal, my mission and goal vision is very clear is I want to use my story to inspire and encourage as many people as possible, especially people in the business and small business leadership space. And, I say for every entrepreneur listening, you need to make enough money to live the lifestyle that you want to live. But then there's a point when you start to have that overflow. Like I'm going to make more money. I have a goal to make more money. It's not so I can go buy a Lamborghini. Like I have a Honda Accord. That's what I'm always going to drive. But we started a scholarship at Colorado State University. We've sent 17 students over to Spain to study abroad. So I want to be able to contribute back to my community and leave a wonderful story for people and help make people's lives better. And yeah, we're at a point where we get to do some really fun things with our money to help other people. And that's like the ultimate goal and what I feel is success in business.
Wonderful. On this note, it's a wrap on this very special edition of the KJ Masterclass Live. Thank you so much indeed for joining us.
Thank you.